Hi, thanks for watching Marshashana Yoga. Well, it's February, and that's a love month for sure. So today we'll talk about the heart chakra. This is the fourth chakra and is also known as the Anahata, which is a Sanskrit word meaning unhurt, unstruck, unbeaten. The heart chakra is the center of our love and compassion, joy and respect. It's where our self-love comes from and our warmth and empathy towards others. It is the basis of our kindness and respect. Love is a healing force. Thus, the heart chakra is a place of healing. It is also a unifying force. We are connected through the heart to others in life's web. One of those people in my life is my dear friend Lois Minkovich, who has been my friend since we were 6 years old. She is absolutely one of the most caring, generous, loving people I have ever known. And I know that all of us that are close to her understand how truly blessed we are. With Lois, there is a deep connection between her heart and the heart of the receiver of her love. Hi, Lois.
Hello, Masha. So nice to be back.
Thank you for coming again. Lois has been a regular on my show. And I know you are familiar with the chakras, Lois, and we have talked about this a number of times. What say you of this great heart chakra?
Well, the heart chakra is the fourth chakra. It's in the middle. There's 3 above it and 3 below it. And yes, when the heart chakra is open, it portrays in love and all good things. Now, when it's closed, though, it presents as anger, jealousy, depression, and things that are really on the more negative side. So through yoga and through all the good things in life, we hope and we work and we strive to open up the heart chakra.
That's right, Lois. She hit on some good points there, and the opposite of those good things. There's a bad side too if it's closed. Well, the heart chakra is located at the heart center, and its element is air. It's represented by a 12-petal green lotus flower, and the seed sound is lam. The heart chakra is connected to the sense of touch. Physically, it is associated with the heart, lungs, circulatory system, the hands and arms, and with the thymus, which is an organ of the immune system. The chakras are like little spinning wheels of energy. In fact, chakra means wheel. Sometimes a chakra can become blocked. It might be blocked because of life situations or long-held habits. When we release the blocks of these energy centers, we can make a clearer path to higher consciousness. Deficiencies or excessiveness can cause imbalances, sometimes temporary and sometimes permanent. For instance, a person whose family moved every year during childhood may be blocked in the root chakra. Sometimes we can even see the blockages in a sense. Lois, you probably know what I mean.
Yes, absolutely. Because again, just like I was saying earlier, when that heart chakra is blocked, it brings in negativity. So when we have our chakras open, it opens us up to all the good things in the universe.
That's right. And if you see someone who's physically, who is like mentally depressed, you may also see it in their body as they close in. You may see the heart closing in. Yep. So you sometimes can spot that, just as you can spot like stress when your shoulders are up to the ears. The Anahata is like a spiritual bridge. As Lois mentioned, it's in the middle, so it's between the lower and upper chakras. And this chakra is also about these deep truths that we sometimes just don't know how to express. It's about listening to the heart and your inner voice. As you spend more time quietly listening, you will be able to discern the difference between the voice of your heart and the monkey mind's chatter. As you continue to listen, You can continue to distinguish between the two. And this will allow you to make good choices that lead you towards your own purpose in this life. If balanced, it brings calmness and serenity. And remember, the best way to get love is to give love. Many think of romantic love, but there are many kinds of love, from family and friendships to neighborly love to the special love between parent and child. With regard to the asanas, we do the traditional poses to open up the heart by physically opening up that area. But we also give attention to the back of the body as well. The front is where we give love. The back is where we receive love. Really, any posture can be good for opening the heart just by bringing your observation and energy to that place. So now, Lois and I, and everyone at home, let's move to the mat.
Sounds good.
So we begin here today. I'm in Shavasana, just resting here on the mat, palms up. Lois is in Supta Baddha Konasana. She's on the bolster, just below her, the bottom of her ribs. She has the legs supported, soles of the feet together, legs supported with the blocks, little pillow under the head. And today, we bring our attention to our breath, to the rise and fall of the breath. As concerns do come to your mind, just let them pass, observe them as an outside observer might, and then just allow them to pass by or to drift away. And return then to the breath. Today we will focus on the heart center, located right at the center of the chest. We'll do some asanas that open up the heart. So as we rest here, we allow ourselves to understand that we are on our own path. We know that we've just rolled into a new year, so we allow ourselves to look forward with hope, and we don't spend much time on regret, because we do have a path to walk, and each has his own. So we just allow that to be. We surrender ourselves. Notice the ebb and flow of your breath. Watch the breath as it moves up the body. Then when you exhale, moving down from the chest to the navel. So we'll begin by taking a nice big breath. So inhaling deeply. And exhaling fully. And then we'll add a little ujjayi, or ocean-sounding breath. So we'll just constrict a little bit at the back of the throat, as though you were whispering. So you'll hear your breath yourself. So we'll begin by inhaling. Exhaling. Inhaling. exhaling. And just returning to your regular breath. And with the Ujjayi breath, we just allow for a little bit of restriction, and that allows the lungs to work a little harder, a little better. And then we'll just begin to take the arms up in the air. So just raise your arms straight up in the air with the palms facing each other. And just make a loose fist and spread the fingers wide. And then make a loose fist and spread them wide. And once more, a loose fist and then spreading them wide. Very good for arthritis, those winter hands. And then place the palms away from you and push the palms up to the ceiling. Let your arms be long, but your shoulders be down. And allow for, just for a moment, for you to settle into a little bit of a pelvic tilt. So just bring the small of the back down a little. And then just let the toes be up, but not rigid. And then drop the fingertips down towards the floor. And then raise the palms up. And drop the fingertips down. And then bring the palms facing each other, and with them shoulder distance apart and the thumbs leading, bring the arms behind you and extend the feet away, leading with the heels. So stretching from the very tips of the fingers down through the heels, elongating and stretching the body. Be sure to keep breathing. Nice big inhalation, releasing any pelvic tilt you have there, and exhaling the arms down in time with your breath. And then we point the feet and flex them, drawing the toes back, pointing, always warming the feet up and flexing. We always do the same types of warm-ups to get the body ready, and then flexing the toes back, and then bringing the toes up towards the ceiling. Just wiggle the toes. So when we wiggle the toes, we're actually hitting acupuncture points that allows for a reduction in the stress hormones. So it's good. It's good for sleeping, before bed, to stretch the feet, and then again pointing and flexing, and then bringing the toes up to the ceiling. So we do try to bring the feet to this yoga position with the toes upwards toward the ceiling. We don't want to be gripping. I just had a session with my teacher, and she was pointing out that I grip a little too hard with my feet, which I do. So she said that it should be more like a blossoming flower. So I'm working on that, so we'll be working on that together. And then once again, bring your feet a little wider than hip distance and make some circles with the feet. And notice as you do that, the connection to the hips. It's good in the yoga to bring that awareness, and then the other way. So we start to notice what's happening. We're just not doing it on autopilot. We're thinking about it. And then bring the big toes together and let the heels slide apart. Point the toes forward and feel that stretch in the upper thigh, right up to the interior thigh there. Then bring them back up to the neutral position and windshield wiper them in and out, like old-fashioned windshield wipers. I always have to say that when there's younger people in the audience, because the wipers don't go that way anymore. And then coming back, bring it back to hip distance. And bring the arms up in the air again. And point the palms away, and bring them slightly further than the shoulder distance. And then begin to grasp at the air with the fingers and the arms. So we involve both the fingers, the hands, and the arms, which are both extensions of the heart chakra. So we get some energy going in there, invigoratingly. And then take your hands, palms facing in, and bring them to a slightly larger V. And then draw the fingertip points down towards the palm pads. And then involve the arms as well, so giving them a good shaking and getting some flowing circulation going there. And then just shake the arms down by the sides. And you can take your pillow or bolster out and just set that to the side and come down to a flat back on the mat. And let's take the body long again. So let's lengthen the arms and lengthen the legs, pushing them away. Big breath. And here, just keep breathing, but add a pelvic tilt. So push the small of the back down into the mat and then release it. Once again, do that pelvic tilt. Just warming that lower back. Release it. And then bring the arms down by the sides. Bring your feet to the floor one at a time. And then draw your knees into your chest one at a time and gently rock them in and out. And then let the arms lengthen so the knees come forward, and then go back and forth. And notice that little massage against the lower spine. And then come back in and bring your hands behind your hot thighs and just draw your feet halfway up. You know, pointing towards the corner of your ceiling and wall, and just point and flex the feet. And then make some little circles. And the other way. And then draw the thighs right down into the chest as much as you're able, keeping the lower back on the floor though. And then bring, point and flex the feet again. And then draw the soles way up towards the ceiling and the thighs in as much as you're able. And now bring the soles of the feet together and allow the toes to point up to the ceiling. Use your elbows to open up that inner groin area if you can. Just go to whatever place you can. Remember that we're all in different places. Release the feet to the floor. So you just do what you're able to do. Every body is different. That's okay. No problem there. So extend the legs and extend the arms. Don't ever be discouraged. You can always do some yoga. There's yoga for everybody. And then bring the arms down. So if we're doing a position it's not comfortable or it causes pain, don't do it. Just go into a resting pose. Bring the feet to the floor one at a time. Now, if you like, you can use a belt. Lois is going to use a belt. She's got the props over there. If you want to use the belt, you can. Even any kind of a belt will do. It's just to give you some lengthening, some, modifying for the posture. So we keep the left leg on. We'll just draw that right knee in for a minute low. And we'll just hold that in for a second. Take a breath. Then we extend that right leg up, either using a belt, like Lois is going to do, or just interlacing your hands behind the thigh or behind the cuff. It all depends on where you come, and everyone is so very different. Now, I can't quite reach way up here too much without lifting my buttocks up. You want to keep that buttock down, and that's the other thing my teacher was telling me the other day, to keep that down. So I'm working on that a little. And just pushing the thigh right into the fingers. And now point and flex the upper feet. Now that's harder for you low with the belt. You may not, or may be able to, but. And then push the sole way up to the ceiling. And then draw the thigh towards the knee, either using your hands or like low, watching low using the belt. And then extend back up. So we use a little motion to stretch the hamstrings. Draw it back in, and then up. My hamstrings are very tight, so it always requires a lot of work, and it just depends on your body. And then cross that leg over the other one. You can take that belt down low. And just making a nice straight line between hip and knee. Take your right hand, open up that thigh a little, so we encourage that hip to open up. And then take one hand to each knee and lift it up. Just hold that in for a minute. Take a breath into the heart center. And then if you're able, we'll extend the left leg up and interlace behind. And just point and flex that left foot. And then bend that left foot down to the ground, put it on the ground, and cross the other leg all the way over. Take your right hand face down on the floor, and take the left hand to the knees. And try to draw from the hip to the knee. Just kind of a straight line as you draw that to the side. And at the same time, roll the ribs back. So attempt to roll your ribs back towards the right onto the mat as much as possible. And then inhaling up to center. Uncross the legs, lengthen the body, check your position on the mat, making sure you're nice and stretched, and elongate the body again. And then exhaling the arms down. Bring the feet to the floor again, one at a time. And this time we draw the left leg into the chest and just hug it in and take a breath. We try to keep the head even and the neck flat and long. And then either using the belt or your hands, we can extend the left leg up. Just letting that be long, whoops, letting the arms be long and the leg be long, and pushing the sole upwards. Point and flex the foot if you can. If you're in a belt, you may or may not be able to. And then push the sole up and bring the thigh to the chest. Keep your right leg up towards the ceiling. Push the left foot up. Again, bring it to the chest. And once more, pushing up. Nice stretch for the hamstring. And then crossing that leg over the other, taking the left hand and opening the thigh, encouraging the hip to widen, to open. And then bring both hands to your knees and bring that up. And just hold that in a moment. Take a breath. As you exhale, release the back body. And then extend the right leg, interlacing behind the leg. Stretching that sole up and then point and flex that foot. And push the sole way up. And then let that right leg come down. Let the other leg cross all the way over. Left hand comes palm down, and right draws that knee over from the hip right over, letting the ribs roll back and the head to the other side. Take a breath. In these twisting actions, we literally squeeze the internal organs, getting rid of toxins, poisons in the body. Inhaling up to center, and uncrossing the legs, and extending the body. If any of us were to be tested right now, we'd probably have about 400 chemicals in our body from just things, cleaners, various plastics and such. Exhale the arms down. Bring the feet to the floor one at a time. And just making your feet nice and flat on the floor. They can be right under your knees or a little forward of the knees. So whatever feels good for you. And then walk your palms down your mat so that the shoulder blades move down. Press down with the palms of the hands. And in this Svadhyaya that we have in yoga, this self-study, we look at ourselves as we're doing the postures. And I continue to learn as I go along. My feet were too far forward towards my buttocks, and I wasn't coming into the pose right. My teacher suggested I move those feet forward a little. So just experiment and look at yourself in the mirror as you do them. Widen your shoulder blades, press them down into the floor, press down with the hands and with the feet, and lift up into Setu Bandha. Lift the backs of the thighs up towards the ceiling, chin dropping to the chest. Take a breath. Opening up the heart and exhaling, coming down slowly, one vertebrae at a time. Extend the legs, extend the arms. Exhaling down. Bring the feet to the floor one at a time, and then draw the knees into the chest. And bring your hands behind about halfway up the thighs and just begin to rock further up on the back. And then let yourself come up to a sitting. So come up to the feet and then rock back, and then come up and rock back, and then come up and rock back, and then come up to just come right up to a seated position. And we'll face this way. So here, if you need the blocks under your knees, if your knees are, if they're up in the air, you'll need to support those. Otherwise, you can just settle on. We try to bring the feet underneath the knees as much as possible. So we begin here. We're going to just bring our fingertips to the back as we push down to the mat. We lift the spine up. Let your shoulders descend. Take a breath. Bring the hands to the knees. Bring the palms up. We'll just bring our attention for a moment to the heart chakra. And we're just going to do Lam once. So we inhale to begin. Bring the fingertips down by the sides. Draw one arm up. Drape it over the head. Just let the neck stretch a little. Always good to stretch the neck. And then coming back up, extend that arm back up again and lean to the side. But let your buttocks be grounded as you lean. And then come back up, bring that hand down and draw the other up. Drape it over your head. Just move the neck to the side a little. And then coming up, lengthen the arm up and lean to the side. Stretching a nice line of energy right up the side of the waist. And then coming back up. Draw the arms overhead and interlace the fingers. And then extend the fingers up in Pavatasana, reaching up. And then exhaling the arms down. Inhale, roll the shoulders up. Exhale back. Inhale up. Exhale back. Bring the fingertips together as though you were hugging a ball. Keep the nice abdomen tucked back, spine nice and straight. And then we're going to inhale and widen the arms. Open the chest, lift the chin a little. Exhale back, bring the head down, fingertips together. Inhale, open. Exhale back. Inhale, open. Exhale back. And then bringing the hands down. We'll just bring the legs long for a moment. Just tap the legs for a minute. And just pointing and flexing the feet. And then while you're here, bring the toes up. Not too rigid, but just like opening flowers. And as you're in this position, just try to do that little bit of a pelvic tilt. So we bring that spine nice up and straight. And then we're going to bring the hands forward on the legs and lift the chest. So we attempt to keep the back straight, the chest from collapsing, the toes up, and take a breath. And then we'll release. Tap the legs. Point and flex the feet. And then we'll come over and we'll come up to a table position on the mat. Now, in table, we're the shoulders are right over the wrist and the hips right over the knees. Keep your feet flat down if you can. For some people, it's hard, so you always have to work with your own body. Some people can't curl their feet, their toes. And we're just going to inhale to flat back. Head comes up. Exhale, round and tuck. Drop the head. Inhale, come up. Exhale, round up. Drop the head. Inhale, forward. Exhale, round and tuck. Come back up to that neutral position. Tap the tops of the feet. Extend the right foot back and curl the toes under. Rock it back and forth a little. Then come to that still place and bring that toe over the other foot. Tuck it, curl it. And keeping a nice straight torso there, turn your head and look back at that foot, allowing the body to just be more flexible. And then bring that leg back, extend the left leg. Curl the toes and rock that back and forth. Then coming to neutral, we'll lift that and place it over the other foot, and then turn and look back at that foot. And then coming back over. And we'll come and take our blankets up and come to a standing position. Bringing your blocks to the front of your mat, if you have the blocks. Or I should say, if you can reach the floor without them, that's fine. So we come up. And to begin, we'll just come to Tadasana, mountain pose, the foundation for all our poses. And we begin with our feet even and parallel. So we know that the feet tend to go out or in, so in yoga we attempt to straighten them. We tuck the tummy back to the spine, we tighten the thighs and lift those kneecaps. And then we inhale the arms overhead in Urdhva Hastasana, reaching up and out of the waistband. And then hinging at the hips, we move into a forward fold, bringing the hands either to the floor or the blocks. So we allow the head to settle in, looking back between the legs, taking a breath. Bend the knees a little, come up ragdoll style. Bring your hands back to your lower back and just move the pelvis forward. Open up the heart. Take a breath. And then come back to that neutral position. Bring your body nice and straight and tall, and keeping the top very long. Move the crown of the head forward, and as you do that, bring the hands behind you and interlace them. Let them rest right on your lower back. And then if you're able, lift the arms up a little. And you can always separate and use a belt, too, if you're tight in the shoulder area. And then just letting the head come down. And again, looking back between the legs. Now bend the knees and let the arms come down and bring the chest down to the knees and then lift the arms again. And then bring your arms down, come up, straighten up. Now we're going to step wide. We make our feet even and parallel. And then we're going to turn the right foot out all the way. And the back one comes in a little. And now just face your leg and loosen your knee. Take your hands and physically turn the thigh from the inside out and then straighten your knee. You should have a nice line from hip, knee to ankle. Bring your torso forward. Don't yank it, but move it forward. Extend the arms to the side. Keep that back foot well grounded as you bend the forward knee. Keep your torso perpendicular to the floor. Gaze out over that arm. Make sure that knee is right over the ankle. In Warrior Two. Straighten the front leg. Now cut back with that right hip and reach forward with that hand, extending the trunk, and then bring it down to the leg as you look up. If your neck is healthy, otherwise keep it here. But if you can, looking up towards the thumb in Trikonasana. Take a breath, opening the chest. Come back up. Move in again to that warrior pose. Bring the front arm down to the thigh. Extend over. An extended side angle. Come back up. Straighten the front leg. Bring the back hand down. And then bring this hand palm towards you, coming back in reverse warrior. Come back up, come to center, bring the hands to the hips and the feet forward. Take a breath. And whenever we do anything on one side in yoga, we always do it on the other side. So we're going to turn the other foot out all the way and we turn that back one in. We slide the heel back, the toes come in. Now, general rule is the back of the heel is kind of the middle of the foot of the other foot, just a general kind of a rule. So we bring that torso forward as much as we're able, lengthening the spine, extending the arms. And then we bend that forward knee, moving into Warrior Two. We keep the back arm lifted, very nice, and you can see how Lois does that, keeping that back arm lifted, and then straightening the front leg. And cutting back with this hip, she reaches forward and then brings that hand down and the other one up. And Lois does have neck and shoulder issues, so you'll notice that she's not going to bring her vision up. Come back up to that Warrior Two position. So go back into Warrior Two, Lois, bend that forward knee, then bring your front arm down and extend over into side angle. That's right. And then coming back up. And we'll come back up into triangle. So again, we're coming to that position. And we're going to bring the back hand down. And the other one back in reverse warrior. And then coming back to that position, bring feet to middle and come to the center. Tap the feet. Bring the feet back to hip distance. Inhale, lift the toes. Spread them. Exhale down. Bring the arms halfway up and come up on your toes, getting a gaze point, a drishti. Bring your palms together overhead. Strengthening the toes and ankles, and then exhaling down. Now we'll just move to the front of the mat. Let's move this way, Lo. And we'll come to warrior one. So we bring our hands to the hips, and then we step back with the right foot angled out slightly. So when we do that, we move the torso forward too. The back knee kind of points towards the toes there, the back knee there, and the front towards those toes. We make sure that that back leg is really nice and grounded. And then we're going to bring the arms up by the ears and bend the forward knee. Bend so that the knee comes right over the ankle. And if anything, the knee should move towards the little toe side. Take a breath in warrior one. And you'll see with Loie's shoulders, she keeps a wider stance with the arms. Good. Bring the hands down, straighten the front knee, step forward. Make sure your position is good again. And then step back with the other foot. And once again, move that torso forward to whatever you're able. Bring the arms up by the ears. Bend the forward knee. Reach up. Keep the torso as straight as you possibly can. Take a breath. Hands to hips, step forward. Now we'll just try chair for a minute. So in chair again, we start in that position. We're gonna bring the arms out in front of you. If you have shoulder issues or anything like that, you can keep them here. Otherwise, you can bring them. Bend the knees as though you're sitting back in a chair. So just taking that time to take a breath, find a place of ease and effort, and then bring your hands behind you and interlace them. And then bring your chest down towards your thighs. And just in this moment, lift the arms up behind you, opening the chest a little, and also taking a look at your feet. A good time to observe your feet. Tend to notice they're a little crooked. I can hear Lois adjusting. And then drop your arms and come up. Inhale the arms overhead. Exhale down. Inhale, roll the shoulders. Exhale back. Inhale up. Exhale back. Inhale up. Exhale back. Draw the shoulders to the ears. Exhale, ha, ha. Inhale up. Exhale, ha, ha. Inhale up. Exhale, ha, ha. And step back towards the middle. Now we're going to come down just on the knees for a minute. And we're going to come all the way down, Lois, because I know with down dog, Lois has a problem. So we're not going to do the down dog today because Lois has trouble like that. Let's focus a little bit on the cobra. So we're going to bring our hands next to our ribs. Let's take a moment to just, first of all, make sure the feet are behind you. They're about hip distance. They're flattened down if you're able. Again, if you're able. We're going to allow for a moment the back body to soften down to the front body. We're going to press down with the hands. We're going to move the shoulder blades down the back a little bit. And we're going to press down with the pelvis and the tops of the feet. And we're just going to come up a little bit. So let your elbows be bent. Come up just a little. Stop. So in cobra, maybe that's all you can do. That's okay. Maybe now we just let the back body soften again. Come up a little further. Maybe we come up to up dog, up on the tops of our feet, if we're able. Just bringing the heart forward, inhaling the heart forward through the arms. So the only points of contact are the hands and the feet. And then coming down. Tuck the toes and come up into child's pose. And just for a moment though, let's walk over to the side with the hands shoulder distance apart. Rest that way for a moment.
Just knowing that you're in the right place where you're supposed to be. And then walk your hands up and then just go over to the other side and stretch out. And then come back up to center.
So what we can do though is plank low, right? So we'll come into plank. You can come right into it. I'm going to go up into down dog first, so you at home can come up to down dog. And then we'll move right into plank. Now, in plank, we make sure that we keep a little bit of a pelvic tilt, and we keep the pelvis down, but the buttocks down, but the pelvis lifted, the abdomen lifted. And then we're going to either drop one knee, you can either do it that way, Lo, you do it with the one knee, and I'll do it to the side of the feet. So in this way, you spin the sides right so that both come to the sides of the feet. One arm is stacked above the other in side plank. Make sure your hand doesn't come back beyond your shoulder. And then come back down, come back into plank, and then go to the other side, either dropping the knee or moving to the edges of the feet. So just extending the arm one away from the other. And then come down and come back to child's pose, resting the head. You can rest it on a block or on your hands or
Whatever you'd like.
And then we'll come up and we'll just lay our blanket down and come up in for a few minutes of meditation. So we'll sit either on the bolster or on a pillow or wherever you're comfortable. Just have your pillow nearby so that you can move into Shavasana after. So now we'll bring the hands to heart center, and we just take the base of our thumbs to the sternum. So it almost lifts the sternum. We take a breath into the belly, closing the eyes, and just being with the breath, focusing on the breath for a moment. In Anjali Mudra. And then begin to rub the palms together vigorously. And then bring the right hand over the heart and the left hand over that hand. Notice the warmth and the radiance at the heart and the chest. Envision green light radiating out from the heart chakra to all parts of the body. Bring the hands face up on your lap. And for a moment, just direct some of that lightness and energy to someone you know who needs healing. And then finally, inhale the arms up to the sides overhead. And then exhale, touching the fingers to the earth and just making that connection with the earth. And then we'll bring ourselves to Shavasana with a pillow beneath the head and a bolster, if you'd like, beneath your legs. Bring your attention to your breath. We notice the ebb and flow of the breath. As we inhale, we draw in fresh energy, fresh oxygen, new life. As we exhale, we get rid of toxicity, we get rid of negativity, we let all that stuff go, we surrender. For yoga brings with it an awareness. We begin to cultivate an awareness of our physical body, an awareness of our mental thinking, an awareness of our spiritual self. So just notice the rise and fall of your breath. For now, we allow concerns to stay away as we focus on the breath. We know the monkey mind is very busy. It's busy all day long, thinking. In yoga, we attempt to tame the monkey. We begin to observe our thoughts, our judgments, our storylines. We make up commentaries in our heads. We are really just a bundle of thoughts. Just now begin to bring movement to the fingers and toes. And then we just roll to the side and remain there for a moment. And here we just take a moment to feel our connection to earth and to feel the connection of our heart to others. And by opening our heart chakra, we allow ourselves to be more loving and to be more caring and to perhaps open our circle, not just to a few people that we love, but to everyone, everywhere. That perhaps we come to see everyone in the same way. And keeping your nice sense of peacefulness, bring yourself now to Sukhasana, simple seated. Bring the hands to heart center. And we bow the busy thinking, intellectual mind to the more intuitive wisdom of the heart. May the long time sun shine upon you. All love surround you. And the pure light within you guide your way home. Namaste. Thank you, Lois. Thank you, everyone.